guess whoever put those laws in action believed. And it changed the society for the better. And there were people on YouTube...
Sorry, I just... The glue's not dry on this yet.
And they're saying, okay, I got a PayPal button.
Does my hat look alright? Okay, good. As you can probably hear, I'm watching Paul's video again. Paul, this is a response to your video entitled Lonelygirl15 versus Renetto. And, you know, I wanted to throw a couple of things in here. I'm going to try to keep this quick, but you know me, I'm verbose, so who knows. Let me make a couple points, though, maybe throw in a different perspective. First of all, Lonelygirl15 was never a vlogger. She was somebody who was on YouTube and acted as a vlogger, who was hired or brought into the group of the director and everybody else that created the show that got the popularity here on YouTube. But she was never a vlogger. She's an actress, and an actress who is an actress because she wants to do that with her life, and she wants to get paid for her acting. So it's no huge surprise to see her sitting in front of a billboard that says revered. Now she's got her, you know, she got noticed, she got discovered, and now she's running with that. You know, remember, you know, she was here as part of a group of people that were here for business purposes, that were here to make money from what they were doing, to get discovered and maybe get a television show or whatever. That was the purpose. Now, I completely appreciate the guys that put the show together and got an actor involved or an actress involved and did that thing. What I appreciate about it is that they were pushing the limit. They were pushing a moral limit and an ethical limit too, and I don't think that was a good thing. A lot of people out here got hurt by it, and that's a shame. But I appreciate their experimental spirit, that it's something new and different, and they wanted to turn around, twist around, and see about interactive television where the viewing audience became a part of that story and actually became integrated with it. I appreciate that they were trying to do that. I think they did it badly. I'm not arguing for or against her one way or the other, but this spirit that you're talking about pushing the limits, certainly they did that. They pushed the limits. And Paul, you and I and Bohem and many others out here are also pushing limits. You know, I often mention that I work for a site that, thanks to my popularity at YouTube, that I work for a site that that sells videos. They're not the same kind of videos as what we do here. They're more commercial in nature, and because of my YouTube rights thing, they found me and they started and they asked me to get involved, and I turned them down. And they said, well, you know, let us talk to you again, and can't we change your mind? And they did change my mind. But the fact of the matter is, we're all pushing limits. Now, we don't do commercials, or some of us don't do commercials. Some people will see some of the things I do as a commercial. And I have a couple commercials up, just flat-out commercials. But the purpose of that was to kind of smack people around and go, those people that support these things, you know, that support this happening, hey, wake up, look at this. This is advertising. I do support PayPal buttons. I do support people on YouTube trying to make money out of doing what they do, even if it's just a commercial, even if it's just doing commercials for the products that they currently sell off of the site. You know, I thoroughly believe that there should be, that you should be allowed to and able to, if you're selling something on eBay, say, hey, I'm selling this on eBay, it's, you know, $12, and if you'd like to just come over and buy it, here's what the URL is, come buy it. I think that should be allowed, but YouTube's Terms of Service Agreement is against that. And that's an interesting subject. The Terms of Service Agreement is about that, but YouTube's actions make it really cloudy. It kind of like you don't know what to do. And I don't think that is intentional for it to be cloudy. I think that YouTube is also experimenting with this. I believe that YouTube doesn't know where this will go either, just like you do. I don't believe that they have any idea where it's going. And they're staying hands-off enough in order to see where the community takes it and what becomes acceptable in the community. And so they're standing back and watching. And I know that they are, because when things happen in the community, YouTube responds. When people started doing videos back and forth to one another, like the one I'm doing to you right now, YouTube said, wait a minute, look at this. They're sending videos to one another. And they created this video response thing. You know, when there was a lot of debate about, do you have the rights to your own videos, and YouTube selling your videos or using your videos for financial gain, YouTube went to the terms of service and darkened the areas that pertain to that. So we know that they're watching. I think YouTube knows a lot more about what's going on out here than we think they do. And I also think they're purposely being hands-off enough to see where it goes. They're actually letting us decide. And I don't. And pushing those limits is a good thing. Now, Paul, you come out here and you do your Renetto character and stuff, and it gets subscribers and it gets people to watch you, and people come over to see what are you going to do next, because you never know. It's kind of that way with me too, but they never know what's going to happen. And at the same time, you do say, you know, here's my life and here's what I do for a living, and I came up with these chairs, and by the way, here's one of them. And yeah, if you want to buy one, it's over at my website. And I have these candles, and they went in these bags that were at this award. And if you want to see the candles, it's over there. Now, I'm not saying that you're looking for financial gain, but I am saying that there's a little bit of advertising going on there. Be it intentional or not, it's there. The same thing with my stuff. When I talk about, you know, I have my blog, and there is a donation button up, and you know, I do the eBay stuff, and I'm doing an eBay series, comes out tonight. It'll be later tonight or early tomorrow morning. The eBay series is coming out. And I'm advertising that. And I'm giving that away for free. And because it's going to take some extra work on my part, I'm going to put it together. When all the series are done, I'm going to put it together. I'm going to put it over on my store on the other site, and people can go over there and buy it if they want to. Or they can just download it with one of the utilities out here on the web and get it for free. That's their choice. However they want to do it's fine with me. But there's a certain amount of advertising going on there. Be it inconsequential, be it unintended or not, it's there. We're pushing those limits. And what we're doing is the same thing that people do when they get in their cars and they drive down the street. You know, when you go down a street that is 35 miles an hour, that you can do 40 probably without getting a ticket. But you know that you better not do 45, because if you do, you're going to stand in front of a judge or court. The law says you can't, but we do. And sometimes we even go ahead and do the 45 because we want to and because we're in a hurry. And that's what some people are doing out here on YouTube. They're pushing those limits. They're putting those buttons up, or they're saying my button's over here, or they're saying come buy my CD. And YouTube's making it easy for them. YouTube's putting up musical pages, pages for musicians, where they can get a special profile to tell you when their show is, where their show is, how much their show is, and by the way, come over here and buy my CD. YouTube's making that available for them. At the same time, they're holding the letter of the law in their hand that says that you can't do that. So I think YouTube is experimenting too, and I think we're all out here experimenting. From people who are profitable outside of YouTube to people who are hoping that YouTube will become profitable. When it all comes out in the wash, it doesn't matter how many subscriptions you have. It doesn't matter how many people love you. At the end of the day, that won't buy you a cup of coffee. But what you're hoping is that you'll get discovered out here. And if YouTube won't support you in that and allow you to make money here, then you'll go somewhere else to make money. And that's what Brooker's did. And that's what Lonely Girl and their crew did with the Revere sign. And that's what a lot of people will end up doing until YouTube gets the clue and says, hey, you know what, we can make money off of this too. And instead of going over to that site that ZenArcher works for, we could let people sell their videos right here. And what does that do for YouTube? Let me tell you what it does for YouTube. For those of you that say, well, that will never happen, we don't want that to happen. Let me tell you what it does. Joe Schmo, who is nobody, who hasn't got a creative bone in his body, puts up a PayPal button, and YouTube says, we want 5% if you're going to do that, and he agrees to it. He's not going to make anything by doing crappy video. Nobody is going to support him in doing that. So what does he have to do? He has to increase the quality of his video. He has to give people something that they want. And all of the people who have those buttons up, or who are selling some video that they did out here, if it's a poem, or if it's a tutorial, or if it's a demonstration, all of those people have to step up their game, because now you're trying to sell it. And that means better video for the vloggers out here, who are a community that come here to be entertained as well as to meet other people, to discuss what's going on in the community. That's what I believe. Now, I don't believe, it's not the same thing as Rosa Parks getting up from the back of the bus and going to the front. You know, that's a civil liberty. That was a human liberty. And that's much different than this. Ethics and morals are something that are very subjective, and something that you have to decide on your own, and decide how far will you go. And I just got done talking to somebody this morning about being a leader out here. And being a leader does mean taking your stuff and throwing it out there and doing what you believe you have a right to do, and doing what you believe is the right thing to do, and accepting the results of the gamble, if they're positive or negative. Now, if you're pushing the limits and you get a video taken down, that's a good thing, because it tells you how close to the fire you can get without being burned. And you'll back up a step, and you'll try that, and you'll keep trying that, and you will learn where the line is that you shouldn't cross. And even once you're there, every once in a while you'll put your toe on it to see if the line has moved. We're all experimenting out here. Some of us are experimenting with how to edit a movie. Some of us are experimenting with how can we make this financially profitable. Some of us are experimenting with how do I become popular. Some of us are experimenting with just vlogging and meeting people and opening up our lives to them and saying, this is me, and discovering that they're accepted for who they are. YouTube's a great place, and I'll be here as long as I'm allowed to be here. I'm not going anywhere. Hopefully YouTube's watching all of this, that there's a potential for finances by allowing people to promote their stuff and to sell their stuff, and they'll make the move to do that. And they'll change that terms of service agreement to say, if you're going to sell your stuff, we get 5%. I hope they do. And when they announce that, I will be one of the guys standing in line. I guarantee you. And I hope you will too, Paul. And I hope a lot of YouTubers that are out here selling stuff on eBay will take advantage of that and pay the 5%, and also be able to promote the stuff that you're selling on eBay here. And that the music artists will take advantage of that, pay the 5%, and actually let people buy their CDs through YouTube. And those people that are doing poems and doing stories and all of that are gaining popularity because they're really good, will have an opportunity to sell that stuff here on YouTube. I hope that'll happen. I believe that it will. I believe YouTube's watching, and they're just waiting to see what we make this. So that's my 2 cents on it. I know it was a longer video than I had planned, but that's what I've got to say about it, Paul. And I agree with you. I think you and I both love this community. You and I are truly vloggers, along with a whole lot of other people that really have a love for the people that we've met out here, we've had contact with, and experimented with. experimented with in the fashion that we're all experimenting. But this is an incredible place, and YouTube is allowing us to decide which direction we go from here. And I believe we need to push those limits. I also think we have to be careful about how hard we push, because there's a lot of us out here that are going to push and end up outside of here and having to upload videos to Revere or to Google or to Yahoo and MySpace. And I hope to still be a part of it and stay here for the next 10 years, 20 years, whatever it is, and see where it goes. That's all I've got. Until next time, Paul, it's been a pleasure. And for those of you who tuned in to see what I had to say, thank you very much. Don't forget, let me put a plug in. Zen eBay will be out late tonight, early tomorrow morning, the first episode, and we'll go from there. Until next time, this is ZenArcher saying, you be well.